So, Dark is the name of the show that you're currently touring with.
Yep.
What's it all about, and why did you decide on that name?
Wanted to call it Dark for two reasons. One, I personally don't consider my sense of humour that dark, because it's the one I sort of grew up with, which it just seemed normal. Dark suggests evil, I sort of think, and it's definitely not like offensive for the sake of being offensive comedy, but also as a warning. Just didn't want any idiots turning up that, these sort of morons that go out to get offended by comedy.
Yes.
To just sort of give them just be like, the show's called Dark. If you get offended by it, it's very much your own fault.
Bit of a disclaimer in the title there.
Yeah.
What made you decide to bring the show to New Zealand?
I've wanted to do New Zealand for ages. I very much, when I started comedy, wanted to, travel the world with it and do it everywhere, because I believe that comedy is universal. I don't think it's, matters where in the world you are, especially not with my comedy. My rule is, my comedy is about how much of a dick I am, and I'm a dick everywhere I go. So it tends to translate. But yeah, went to Queenstown a couple of years ago. Just had a lot of fun. I didn't gig, but it just seemed like a very cool place to do comedy, because I know Ed Byrne moved over here a couple of years ago and really enjoyed it. And a guy I know, Richard, runs the festival, and he's always been bragging about how much fun it is. So I felt like I was missing out.
Is there anything in particular you found that you like about New Zealand?
It's just like a hotter Scotland. It's very much. It's scenic. It's small, and the people are cool. You just get a little bit more sunshine than we do.
What inspired you to write your material?
What just in general, or what inspires my jokes?
Say as far as your jokes for this sort of round.
Okay, yeah. I don't sit down and intend to sort of write anything. Jokes just tend to come to me, whatever annoys me or whatever I feel passionate about. If I get something in my head and I start thinking about it a lot, I'll put a note on my phone and just go home and take a couple of little notes on it, and then just go on stage and just rant and just try and not write it out too much, sort of let it naturally form. And so if anything pisses me off or annoys me, then I'm very good at writing with it. Yeah, passion.
What's the deal with this?
Oh yeah, so for years and years and years, I've always obviously looked. It was an ongoing joke that I always looked like Macaulay Culkin. And then last year, me and my friends worked out that I always do. I do one face in photographs with fans, and it's just like a really open-mouthed smile. And I was actually the one that was like, Jesus Christ, no one, I look a lot like Beaker from the Muppets. And then my friends were like, oh my God, you do. And then they just went out and just found all these photos of me doing the exact same positions. And it was terrifying how many ones were like Beaker doing this position, and then there was also a press shot of me doing the exact same position, and just became this huge ongoing joke that none of us could stop laughing at. So I think that one was by my friend Mary, who just decided to combine all three of them together. Yeah, the full ensemble, yeah.
People often find their favourite comedians through YouTube now, so what would you say your best clip is?
Oh God. I mean, I guess the most sort of the stuff that I most like now are any of the Conan ones, or the Melbourne Gala, the most recent. I tend to not point people towards the older stuff because, as the title suggests, I've gone down a different route. It's no longer that family friendly. Can you swear on this? Shit. None of the family friendly shit that I used to do. So it's now very much more me, and I am a bad person.
Do you have a favourite New Zealand comic?
Jared Christmas. Yeah, do you know Jared? I think he's genuinely one of the best compares MCs in the business right now. I was with him at the Comedy Store a couple of weeks ago in London, and he made me laugh so much. Yeah, definitely.
How many other nicknames do you have for yourself other than the sausage?
Oh, for my penis, there is Slossage, Sloss Nest Monster, and my friend Alex Edelman, who is a Jewish comedian, calls me Slostica. which I'm not sure if that's, well, it's, yeah, fuck it, it's his choice. Yeah, there's lots, like, Sloss is a name that I always thought nobody could get a lot of nicknames out, but then people just, mentioning Slossable, Slossed and Spaced, Sloss in Translation, Candy Sloss, Daniel Sloss, there's a fair few.
Kind of run away from you at this point.
Yeah, I'll answer to all of them.
Is there anything New Zealand needs to step up its game in?
No, I mean, you guys have got Gay Marriage over here? Yeah, because that was I have to fly back to Sydney for a friend's engagement party, and the reason they're having an engagement party is because they're a gay couple who can't get married. And Australia used to really lead the charge when it came to, they banned the guns, they were doing good, and now they're just a bag of dicks. So I think, you've got that. Is marijuana legal here? Yeah, maybe up your game on that. But then again, we in the UK don't have medical marijuana yet. But you just need it to be. I've been to Colorado, Denver, where it is 100% fully legal, and it's the greatest thing in the world. It's just, and all the statistics afterwards, like crime stayed at the same level, jobs went up, alcoholism went down, drunk driving went down, and you can just walk into the store and buy drugs like a fucking adult. Like, it's always the same, like, I don't want to have to buy my drugs from a drug dealer. They're drug dealers. They're really horrible. Yeah, they're horrible. They're seedy. You have to get in their car. It's not nice. I want to go in the store and buy like an adult.
What grinds your gears the most?
I mean, lots of things fuck me off. But I tend to, if things annoy me, if it's something that someone else is doing, I really try to not get too annoyed by it because it's not my life.
Yeah.
But religion can get fucked. Like, it's all well and good for people to say, oh, my religion is personal, and you go, yeah, but is it? Is it though? Or do you judge people when they do something outside of your little beliefs? Or do you, stop people doing what they want to do? Or do you use it as a way of feeling superior to other people? Really tell me deep down if you truly think it is personal or whether it's a way of you justifying your shitty actions.
Yeah, it seems to be a bit of a theme.
I come from a very religious family, and all the religious people in my family are brilliant. Like, they're the ones where I'm just like, oh, for them religion is personal, it doesn't affect. But then I've met too many other ones where it's, it's not the case.
Yeah.
And anyone that gets offended by comedy can seriously fuck off and kill themselves. Like, if you're one of these people that goes out to a comedy club to watch a comedian, being offended by comedy, I think, is one of the most narcissistic things someone's capable of doing, because you're sitting in a comedy club or a gig and you're watching a comedian talk to hundreds of people, and this is obviously a joke that they've told many times, so tens, maybe hundreds of thousands of people have seen this joke, and in that one moment you manage to make it all about you, as if this comedian went out of the way to just pick on you and just your thing. And you'll notice people that get offended by comedy are never offended by everything. They always pick and choose. Like, I'll make jokes about, I have a sister with disability, who's disabled, so I make fun of disability, make fun of religion, and you'll get people that laugh at all those jokes. I'll do a pedo joke, they'll laugh at that. But the second someone makes a joke about obesity or diabetes, people go, yeah, but I have diabetes, so that's not funny anymore. You go, no, you laughed at everything else. You cannot change when it affects you. You can either be offended by everything or offended by nothing. You don't get to jump between.
Fair enough. What's the best one-liner you've got?
My mum's got a very healthy outlook to contraception, which is good because her sister is anti-abortion, which is a cruel nickname, but she's had 5. My favourite line I've ever written.
If you weren't doing comedy at the moment, what would you be doing with your life?
Oh, I'd probably have killed myself by now. I don't have any other discernible qualities. I don't have any talents outside of this. I didn't go to university. I don't have a degree. I don't have a work ethic. I'm not good with people. I'd probably just have to kill myself.
Is the gay hand still as prominent as when you did it for Russell Howard?
Kind of. There's a gay gay Scottish comedian called Larry Dean, I'll always lean on the microphone stand now, because for a while I was told by other comedians, like, oh, don't lean on holding the microphone stand, it looks unprofessional. And then I was just like, I don't think it fucking does. Like, and also I'm a professional comedian, so I guess, back then I was like, oh, I don't want to look unprofessional, whereas now, I've been doing it for 9 years.
What kind of people should come along to see Dark?
Just if you're into comedy, if you understand, I would say most people, I really don't have demographic. I was really pleased when I was in Melbourne, and there was anyone from the ages of like 16 to 75 all seem to enjoy it. It's not really it's about me and my sort of beliefs, which you obviously don't have to agree with. It would be ridiculous. Find it dull when I do a show and everyone agrees with what I have to say. That's not the point in society or the world. Just if you're into comedy, if you're easily offended, please don't come, but also don't leave the house. Like, you're ruining the world for the rest of us with your little sensitivities. Just anyone really.